Good morning. So I made my to-do list, and it is long. But before I tackle anything big on it, like bathroom doors, I'm just gonna pick up some left-behind carpentry stuff. There's drawers in the vanity and the sawdust door on the toilet. And just pick up some left-behind stuff, and then I'll move on to building doors for the bathroom.
It's buckle down day for the kids and I after a wonderful, lovely weekend. We're getting back to schoolwork and some other work as well. But fortunately, Nick and I ran a Q&A yesterday on the driveway. So here that is, and enjoy. Hello, welcome to another Q&A. Your questions, our answers. And we're reading these off of our Facebook page. How many square feet is the house?
892. Next question.
What is the situation with your bees? Good question. I haven't shown you my bees in a long time. They're fine. My bees are fine. I have 2 colonies. One of them was purchased as a nuke and was never super strong. And the other is was found caught as a swarm, and has always been pretty powerful. So at the last minute, I took a whole medium box of honey from the very strong colony and just gifted it to the weaker colony. So I wasn't really moving bees, I was just moving honey. So that both colonies have plenty of honey. I'm still not sure that the weaker colony will make it. I'm pretty sure that the stronger colony will. I just haven't taken the camera down there in a while. Actually, Christopher Kirk, my beekeeping mentor, was here, but he was here while Nick was out of town and I wasn't really running the camera there. So hopefully he'll come up again sometime this winter and he can give you a more professional opinion of where my bees are at. But thank you for asking. They are still on track and fine as far as my first year as a beekeeper. Why the backer board in the bathroom? Didn't you pour concrete in there?
No, I did not. The bathroom is built over the cellar. So in the foundation, that's a big wall that goes into the footprint of the house. So underneath the bathroom is the cellar. So that's our only framed floor on that level. And so it's framed out really pretty stout because I knew that the clawfoot tub was going in there, and then plywood deck and backer board and the whole deal. And we chose tile just largely because we had it. I think I would have chosen ceramic tile anyway. Maybe not that tile, but we were given a big stack of tile, enough to do that bathroom.
I saw on one episode your kids were watching a movie. How do you handle TV time? Is it a daily occurrence or weekly?
Weekly, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a day where they could do games and stuff, but we've kind of done away with that. I think they kind of got bored with it a little bit.
They got bored with video games. I didn't tell them they couldn't. They just kind of stopped asking for it.
Right. But yeah, we do just a weekly movie night, and it's just a DVD on our laptop so far.
Please don't take this wrong in any way, but you both came with a background in theater, which is awesome. We think so too. But when the kids get older and aren't exposed to the opportunity of drama, will this be a regret, or will you include this in your home studies? I ask this because my wife and I, as Diversified Acres, are working on our big move with a young son. I like these questions that kind of get into the actual costs of lifestyle change. I'm glad you're asking this.
Right. So, I wasn't necessarily given opportunities as a real youngster to participate in theater. I discovered it in high school, I guess. It was through my high school a little bit, but The other thing is we haven't decided exactly what the next 10 years look like for our kids. We may always homeschool. We may not always homeschool. But I think I don't know, I'm sort of discovering at the age that our kids are now, it's not up to us as far as what they're into. they're people, and they're going to have their own interests and things. And they might gravitate that way, they may not, but it's not for me to set down in a plan of what they can and cannot do. And we've done okay at giving them opportunities. Stella had a dance recital last year sometime. She was in an old dance class last year. So we're not without culture.
We're not scheduling our kids, and that can feel like a resistance to not have, particularly sports. We don't do sports teams for our kids right now, and that can definitely feel like you're kind of preventing them from having something that really matters. But what we do is we just revisit that moment by moment. We ask our kids to advocate for themselves. They all know the word advocate, even as young as they are, because I use it a lot. Say, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to tell me the thing you really want. And if you can figure out what that is, then our family can make it happen. But I am not going to just decide all the things that you ought to have and then start delivering them, because I've been on that hamster wheel. We are never going back to that.
Right, yeah, on the activity taxi service.
Right,
That it can become.
We just couldn't do it with our hillside in the wintertime. We just couldn't do it. But also, it's useful to note that Nick and I come from very different backgrounds. We came from different places to where we met in college doing theater. So we were able to take very different routes to that place, which maybe gives us a sense that our kids can come from where they are to where they need to be as well.
Right, and even in our different, theater settings, college or any professional settings, we met people from all sorts of backgrounds. Some that were sort of, coddled and pushed into it, and some that really, sort of defied all odds to get there or whatever. So, it takes all kinds, and I think that's true of most any field.
And also a value system thing to share is that as a parent, I feel a great deal more responsibility to offer my children the ability to have some skills in self-sufficiency, and particularly cooking and where their food comes from, than I do in theater. And maybe that's because theater is kind of easy for me to come by. I quote Shakespeare. They all know lines from Midsummer Night's Dream, so they're accustomed to that. But I feel like my responsibility in the place where I feel like I can't bend or shirk my work here is in self-care, teaching them to take
Absolutely.
care of themselves.
Teach them to be people first.
Mm-hmm. Great question. What kind of router bit did you use to plane the stair treads with?
Nice specificity. So I believe you can do that with just kind of any straight bit, and I forget the name, like the exact name of what the bit that I use is called. It might be called a surfacing bit, but how a straight bit has a blade that runs down the side and is made for cutting on the side. This surfacing bit also has a blade on the flat surface. So it's nicer for that. I think with a regular straight bit, you would get more tear out and you'd have more to clean up with the sander.
Okay, last one. We've got company over here. Our little ones are coming outside to play. Will you be able to brood chicks on the rocket mass heater? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So yeah, that 90 degrees or whatever that they need right at first.
It's perfect.
It's the perfect place for it.
I mean, if anyone watched my videos about brooding chicks in the yurt, we used hot water bottles or warmed bricks to heat up an enclosed box. So what better than a big old warmed brick?
Yeah.
I think it'll work perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Well, thanks for hanging out with us this week. You will see a lot more about our Christmas traditions as we are continuing our daily vlog, and we're going to be doing a lot of holiday celebration through the next few weeks. And these questions came off of our Facebook page, so if you want to ask your questions, find your way over there, and thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for watching.
Good night, little house. To your bed.
Nah, that won't work. I'm not on somewhere big enough. This one's my high jumper. Goes like this.